Hey, this is John Carlos, and I'm looking for Game of Thrones figures of Jaime Lannister. This one's eyebrow is missing some paint right on his left eyebrow area, and his beard is kind of all wonky and dirty. This one's beard is decent, and his eyes look good, whereas this one, I actually like that he doesn't have much beard paint. I think it looks better that way, but his left eyeball's black dot is not centered to the eyeball, and he's got a line of dirt on his nose. So I'm going to end up going with this one. So here's a look at the packaging with the Lannister crest on the side of it and a picture of Jaime on the back. A couple of things worth noting about this figure. One, the length of his cape is longer than the length of his feet. You can see here how much further it hangs down than his feet. So if you're getting this figure to stand and you want that cape right up against him, it does cause him to want to fall over a bit, so you do have to kind of drape it a little further back. And if you want to bend him at the knees and the waist for like a crouched fighting position, this cape will have to go even further out. The other thing worth noting is the face. Be careful when you're taking this figure out of the packaging, because I scraped my nose on the somewhere on the packaging when pulling it out, and I took a bunch of paint off the end of it. And it's funny because I remember looking at the package thinking, man, his face is really close to the window. Like, that's weird. Like, his nose is almost touching it. So please, for the love of God, if you get this figure, be careful when you pull him out so you don't do this to your figure. Now, looking at the figure itself, man, the armor on this is really impressive. There's a lot of good sculpting that went into all this. Just the stuff going down his arms here and all those little dotted little rivets on his glove. And just all the detail work that went into his chest. Even all the figures have really good belt work. For some reason, the little tiny details like a belt all have a good texture to them, have good little like holes and good paint on them. Even this little buckle on the back's been painted, so I think they did a great job with that. But all this stuff hanging down just looks awesome. Including this cloth here, and how it's like a, you could tell it was originally white and they did like a brown wash to it, and that wash just looks awesome. I don't even call it a wash, they really dirtied it up. But his legs look good, his feet look good. I like the little straps that go around his shoes. And I think the paint on this is really solid, like the use of green and the use of golds, even just like how dirty his pants are. I think the paint on this is really solid, especially on the armor. I just think the armor on this is rad. Now, without getting too much into articulation, he does have the hinged and swiveling feet, double knee joint, the upper thigh cut. It's like a mid-thigh cut, but it's really high up there towards the top. One of the things that impressed me is he's got a mid-torso cut. I figure with his armor he might not have one, but it does actually like move around like a ball joint, so that's really cool. He's got the hinged elbow kind of ball joint, the swiveling wrists tucked in there at the glove line, but it's there. And then also his shoulders have like a ball hinge joint. They don't come up that high, but they look alright. And then he's got a joint at the head. But I really do dig the paint, even on his little collar area here, how they kind of dirtied the paint up in those crevices to give it some dimension. Speaking of dimension, I really like the paint on this figure, especially in the hair. I like that they use two tones for most of the hair on these figures to give it a little sense of like texture to the hair, aside from the sculpt that's already there. And I do like the face sculpt quite a bit. I think they did a good job painting the beard, at least better than anything in Series 1. You kind of get the sense that it's stubbly. And I think the likeness is there. I think they did a good job capturing his eyes and his eyebrows. The hair sculpt is great. I think the mouth looks good, just, you know, the part that I messed up the nose. But otherwise, I think it's a good looking figure that definitely looks like him. I think this figure is rad, and I think they did a great job with it. I really dig the detail in the armor. I think his sword looks really cool. Here's a closer look of it as I catch the figure. You can see a little detail at the top of the hilt there, and a little gold going around the sides. And let's see if it fits in his hand. Sometimes these figures can't hold shit, and yeah, that thumb is sculpted on, so that's annoying. Hey, so's this one. I hate when figures do this. And sometimes they make like hilts that are removable, but why you would sculpt a figure with a thumb that's like attached to the index and then make the handle so thick that it can't get through is just beyond me. This is just imbecilic. I don't know what they were thinking, so that's stupid. So I was saying how awesome this figure is, but I will knock off some points for that because that's stupid and that sucked. Otherwise, this is a cool figure. Thanks for watching.